Welcome to the Keeping It Positive podcast, presented by the Positive Inception, helping people become more positive and trying to make the world a better place, one episode at a time. And now here's your host, Ryan Benoit.
Hello, thank you so much for tuning in to another great episode of the Keeping It Positive podcast. This is episode number 43 with the one and only Allison MacDonald. She is a rock star, not only figuratively, but in real life. She's such a talented musician. And this episode was really, really fun just to get to know her a little bit more. And whoever that knows her loves her. And she's so caring and she's hilarious. She's witty. She's with it. And she cares so much about others. Whenever you see her out and about, whether she's playing a gig or just living life to the fullest, she always takes the time for others. She's so personable, loving, kind, and you really see that in her values, and you really see that in this episode. And I admire her so much. Doing sometimes me doing public speaking and stuff like that, I get so nervous, and it's hard to get up in front of people sometimes and perform, so to say. And well, I don't really perform; I just talk. But her, she does it so flawlessly, and she has such a passion for it, and she's so talented, and she plays so many different genres, and she reads the room, and she's good at she's so talented and great, and she's so humble, and I think it takes a lot of courage to be able to do what she does and do what she does at a high level that she does it at. And the amount of preparation she does and the amount of passion she has with what she does is truly phenomenal. And being able to work full time and work multiple jobs while chasing her passion on the side musically, and everything that she does in between, and all the time she has for anyone and everyone, and mixing in her busy lifestyle and having all that into one beautiful equation is truly, truly special. And in this episode, we talk a little bit about all that kind of stuff. And I'm just so excited for you guys to hear this episode. It was so much fun recording. Hopefully, all the birds are okay. And like I said, I hope you enjoy listening to it, because I really enjoyed recording it, because Allison is one of the best. So without further ado, this is episode number 43 with the one and only amazing Allison MacDonald. I am
Sounds
so
good.
excited to be able to do this. And ever since I started this podcast, you were a person that I really wanted. And every time I see you, you're always such in a good mood, and everyone that loves you and whoever's around you, I think you just make people feel so much better about themselves. And your energy and your demeanor and your smile, you're just contagious in the best way possible. And I'm just excited to chat with you and have some laughs and share some stories and know a little bit about you. I think this is what I love the podcast is being able to have people that I know but get to know them a little bit more, which is really, really special.
I appreciate that, right? And you know what? It's funny you use the word contagious, and the first thing that comes to mind, which was often a response that I've given, I'll say, it's like a good rash. And it's hard to imagine there being a good rash, but that's kind of where I'm going to, and I'll put that out there. There's worse
Watch it.
things, I mean, but
Every every time I'm gonna have a rash now, I'll think of you.
if you need a good balm or ointment, yeah, maybe that's
No,
where I
no,
come in.
no, no ointment, because I want it to last forever. You'll always be with me.
Well, and that's what I used to tell customers at the beer store, because like, technically I'm still an employee there. I don't really take shifts, but I'm here. But I used to it's always served me really well to have worked there. It's worked for me, it's worked for them, and I genuinely have loved that job. But I would say to customers that I would see, and then wouldn't see them for a lapse of time because I wasn't actively working. And I'd come back and they'd say, "Oh, you're back." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm like a good rash. Like this is where I came up with that notion because I thought like you never know when you're gonna spike something and
Yeah.
have, that thing." And I went like, "That's kind of me. You never know when I'm gonna pop up." But
And I feel like a job like that, like it's so nice that you're able to keep it and have shifts here and there. And I think you're so
mhm,
personable and being able to see people like and like that's what I love about the store too. You never know who's gonna walk in, right? And then you can
yeah,
chat it up and catch up and different things like
yeah.
that, which is pretty special.
It that job was, well, and still is. It was honestly probably like it's been my favorite job to have.
Yeah.
One, when I was younger, you knew where everybody was going every weekend. Because even if you were working till, 10 o'clock, I knew where you were going to be because I saw you or your friends beforehand. Because as they were coming in to buy something, where are you going? Okay, some people are going there, people are going here, people are doing this.
Yeah.
So when you're done work, you're ready to go. And
Oh,
I'm going to go here, I'm going to go there, I'm not going to go there. Like you
I,
knew where all the spots were. So yeah, it was a really for the social end, wonderful.
if you want to avoid someone, it's like, oh, I'm definitely not going here. Thank you.
Yeah, simple conversation as the exchange is happening. They're paying. You're going, oh yeah, who's going out tonight? And you find out who people are going with. You went, oh, that might be the one to steer clear of.
Yeah. Good strategy.
I'm telling you, you got to use these things to your advantage. You
Oh yeah.
know?
And I think when you think about it, like that's what you never know what who you're gonna see, who you're gonna catch up with too, and I think like Sudbury is such a small, it's a big town but
Mhm.
it's a small town too, right? And it has like that big town feeling, but that small, everyone knows everyone, especially in the valley and the outskirts and different things like that. And that's kind of how I wanted to start this. I like growing up from Sudbury and you and I are like born and raised, and I wanted
Mhm.
to kind of ask about like how the community has helped you be who you are today, I guess. And I think because you and I are so personable, and I think the whole community is like that. They're so supportive, and so there's so many caring people, and I think that like a lot of that is within you and I, right? We're such caring people, personable people, and I think and maybe I kind of answered a little bit of your answer, but I think like having a community and it's such a it gives you a good foundation to kind of be who you are and the people that you grew up with, and allows you to make your own character, right, and have good role models and different things like that. But for me, Sudbury is so important. I wanted to have kind of your little bit of a take.
Well, no, you're bang on. It's like this city, yes, we're vast in space and like road kilometers and
Yeah.
but like you're really only 15, 20 minutes or less from the next something, from the next little pocket of town.
Mhm.
And it's like, I don't know. When people have asked me before, like, how did this get going? Bonfires, garages, right? Like it's small socials. And that's what we have for people who like I look at off seasons like winter and things like that. If you're not into outdoor activities or sports, if that's not, what else do you have? Or
Mhm.
like smaller hobbies, you have socializing, you have your friends, you have get-togethers. And to have that and to maintain it, you need and want good people. That equates to you also being preferably good people. And that just like I don't know, it builds that community thing. So I hated growing up that when I'd go to the grocery store with my mom, it took 4 times as long because she knew that person, and you stopped. And it going, we came here for 3 things. It's been an hour and a half. Now that I'm the person, I'm going out somewhere and you have somebody else with you, be it family, whoever, friends. Oh, so and so, this person. You could stop and talk to people every 5 minutes if you were open to the interaction. And as much as that used to drive me nuts as a kid, I love it now because you go, it's great. It's great to feel like you can connect no matter where you go.
And
And that serves across the board in this city.
and I think connection is so important, right? And I think it's
Mhm.
funny because when you were saying that, like when you go to the grocery store and you see it, but you're like, if you're in a rush, it's like I can't make any eye contact. I just gotta go and grab like a couple things,
Oh
And
yeah, I have strategies all the time of how to avoid these, you know,
it's
how
fun.
to avoid the times, or you just kind of give that blasé, like, good you, and you just gotta kind of keep going, I hope things are good, but like I cannot stop. But I don't know, like I wouldn't change the small town thing. I love going out of Sudbury. I love the experiences, but it's like there's something that's so lacking in bigger cities for connection,
Mm,
which I'm not faulting bigger cities, but I love how this is here.
yeah,
Like it suits me so much more to walk around and feel it's almost like you're bumping into walls of comfort no matter where you go.
I love that, and it's like
Yeah.
it's heartwarming, right? Walls of
Yeah.
comfort everywhere you go. That's the
Yeah.
perfect way to describe it, right?
Hmm.
And I think connection is kind of that's all that's it's so important that we all need that, right? That's why COVID and all that stuff was so hard because it was like everyone was separated and you couldn't go there and you couldn't do this and people had different values and opinions but
Hmm.
like divided, right? And now everything is kind of coming back together and I think that's what the world really needs is connection and love and being there for one another too and I think like even the music industry like is a special community for you and seeing all the musicians, all the amazing musicians in Sudbury and in Northern Ontario. And I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about that community too, like when talking about music, like is that something that you always loved, you always grew up with?
Yeah, I don't know. I've had family members play music, so and my parents love music. And as I got older, growing up, my mom would talk about, I don't know if it was a high school project or if it was just like a community thing, but my mom would talk about having been part of this Café Chantant.
Okay.
I think it was a high school thing. I don't know if it was a school band or how it worked, but we used to give her the gears all the time because we'd be in the car. And if a song came on that she knew, hey, and she's rocking it, or she's trying to find the harmony. And as kids, you have to like, you can't let her just be enjoying it. We had to be, being little shits in the car about the whole thing. But you go like, oh, that was just a part of that was part of her upbringing. And like as a kid, you don't think about what it was like for her in her younger years necessarily. But she grew up around music. I had aunts and uncles. She had aunts and uncles rather that like played violin, fiddle, all those things. Same thing for my dad. So growing up, I'm in a house of music. My family would get together, my dad, my uncle. I have a cousin who would play piano, they're playing guitar. So that's what I was surrounded with. And then one of the first times I can remember performing, if you will, the Hanmer Mall.
No way.
Um, so Hart, the
Yeah.
store Hart, when I was growing up, that store was Stedman's,
Okay.
V&S Stedman's. And I don't, okay, no, I'm wrong about this. It was in the mall. They had a karaoke contest.
No
I
way.
think it was put on by the mall, but you could win a gift card. And I don't know why we ended up there. My mom signed my brother and I up to sing karaoke. Why? I couldn't tell you. And we sang Achy Breaky Heart, but not knowing all of the words, we had the tape deck, like the insert to the tape with the lyrics that are that big, and we sat there singing it. And we won this karaoke contest.
No way.
Won a $50 gift card for Stedman's. That's where I was
Oh,
going with that. So
that's
it's
awesome.
like things like that. Why did my mom sign us up for it? I don't know. Maybe good luck. Had a
Yeah.
blast. I sang at the Knights of Columbus Jamboree,
No.
and I was nervous. I sang Shania Twain, Whose Bed Have Your Boots Been Under, immediately after a girl who had just sang Shania Twain, Whose Bed Have Your Boots Been Under. So back to back entrance into this into the contest, sang the exact same song. I remember feeling so stupid. But it's just been something that like we kind of just did, and you go, I don't know, like it just felt, I was nervous. I sat there holding the mic and wiping the other hand full of sweat on my leg, and then you'd switch hands and wipe the other hand. Like it was just a constant, like alternating what sweat wiping because it was so nerve wracking. But it also just became really kind of easy in a way
Yeah.
to just go, okay, forget it and put yourself out there.
Yeah, and I think that's a good lesson for everyone, right? Like when we're nervous and we're not sure about doing something and it's something new, right? And just do it, go for it, and take the leap,
Yeah.
take the jump, and
Yeah.
because you never know how good it can become, right? And now look at you, and now you do it. Like you probably still get nervous a little bit, but like you're able to do it. That's kind of like a career, so to say, which is pretty amazing.
I remember having a conversation with somebody and they asked, because they were going to be playing, I think it was my brother actually, he was going to be playing somewhere and he was super nervous. And I said, you just gotta, like, I get it. At this point, I was really only ever playing in like garages with friends at like, the sing-alongs, if you will, and had only maybe just started the odd time playing like at a venue. He says, yeah, but you're in a room full of your friends.
That's the
Like,
worst, I find.
right. I said, yeah, it's comforting on one hand, but also because at the end of the day, yeah, your friends are hopefully going to support you no matter what. But if you go all out and it goes well, even in a room of strangers, you're going to be that much more excited.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, just give her somebody's strangers or friends, it doesn't matter. They're going to appreciate the effort, I think,
Mhm.
of seeing somebody try, because if you are generally trying, it shows. And if you're having fun, it shows, and people are going to, I think, appreciate those things.
And two things with that that I thought of, like it's funny when you said when you're performing in front of your friends.
Hmm.
And I find for me that's like the one I'm more nervous about, and it's funny because I went to a hockey tournament with my buddies on like this past weekend, and
Yeah.
before the games, like, oh Ryan, do a speech, and like I'm more nervous to do that one than like random people because they're all my
Yeah.
buddies.
Yeah. And
But I
I don't
didn't
know
do.
if it's because it's like there's a level of expectation. That's what I think. I think in my mind in those situations, well, for me, I think that my friends expect so much, like a certain something from me. And then if I can't deliver that, I'm letting down my friends.
Yeah,
And I
maybe.
don't want to let down my friends. I don't want to let down my community, right? You want to keep them.
But the
So
thing too
you
is like
hope to do well.
when you think you like when you don't do well or something, and then people come up to you and it's like, "Oh, you did so good." It's like I did not do so good, you know.
Harsh, you're your harshest critic.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm always so hard on myself. But like
Yeah.
when I think about like being nervous or anything, like I was having a conversation with someone the other day. It's like nervousness and excitement are both the same feelings, right? And if you're nervous, you should try to trick yourself saying, "No, I'm not nervous. I'm excited," because it's the same feeling. And then that
Yeah.
that kind of helps too a little bit, I find.
It's what perspective is. Yeah,
Mhm. And
exactly.
and when I think like letting when you say like you don't want to let your friends down, I think that's even like with the people that believe in you, right? I think that's like human nature. The people that believe in you and the people that care about you, that's who you want to make proud of, right? The
Yeah,
people that believe in you, you want to prove them right. And but I think like they're no matter who they are, if they're your real friends, they'll always be with you.
absolutely. And I'm fortunate to know that I have like probably the best friends. Like
Yeah.
I I will say, like I've surrounded myself with the best people. And I think there's people that you just happen to meet, you click with, it goes well, it's great. But some of these people, like I've also earned them, and I've maintained, and it's not that every friendship is like work or taxing, and even for the ones that have been, it's been worth it. I've happily put time and effort into the people in my life, and like I feel so rewarded when I think of like the people that I have.
And when you think about it, like a relationship is work, right? You got to put in the
Yeah,
effort and the time, and you got to check in and like show that you care, right? And like there is some friends that you're best friends and you don't see each other for a long time, and when you reconnect, it's like you don't skip a beat, right? And
yeah,
then there's people that you always should try to check in and be there for one another, because that's what friends and people that you care about, that's what it's all about, right?
yeah. And that's again, like even on the scale of like the close, like everybody ends up feeling like close friends in their own way,
Mhm.
and like I said, like even being in the valley or just in Sudbury in general, you can go around like, oh, I know him. And it's not like you necessarily know them well, but some people right away, you're like, that's a good person. And if we ever got close, it's gonna work because I get the right vibe from you.
Yeah.
You are definitely going, if we were to like bridge the gap socially and like get a little closer with like hangouts or whatever, I immediately know it's going to work because I genuinely think good people find good people.
Yeah. It's like we
And
attract
yeah,
each other, right?
yes. And your gut's never wrong in that sense. Like, yes, bad people can sometimes pull the wool over your eyes, but whatever. That's part of like figuring it out. But for
Yeah.
the most part, what's good. And like, I wouldn't trade any experiences I've had for more of the good people because I appreciate what the unfortunate things bring,
Mhm.
even like bad gigs.
Yeah.
Or going, oh, I swung real big at that song. I probably should. Huh? What am I going to do? As much as like we're our harshest critics were saying, I I also don't regret giving a song a go sometimes
And
because
I
I'll
think
figure it out after if I need to.
and I think that's what you have to do, right? Like the bad experiences that we have in our life, we shouldn't say, "Oh, I wish that didn't happen," because it made us who we are. We learned something from it, right? And
Hmm.
utilize it to try to get better and improve, and maybe trying a song. And for your example, like it might be a hard note to hit, and you tried it and it flopped, but like then you know how to adjust and what to do differently, right? And I think the thing about everything is just showing up and trying
Yeah.
and putting in an effort. And I think
Yeah.
if we do that with the right intentions, I don't think we'll ever lose. We'll just learn and we'll improve and we'll get better and we'll grow from it.
Yeah. The self-talk is real in those moments.
Yeah, yeah,
It takes a while sometimes to get there,
hmm
but at some point there does come that how bad could it be? Or what do I have to lose?
yeah, exactly.
And
And
also, like, there comes a point with so much experience, I think, with any kind of hardship. You go, if I can go through XYZ and get there, that other thing that could flop pales.
and like
I'll get to where I need to be.
and what we were saying too is like we always overthink things too, like when
Yeah.
we think about, oh, like if something we did that happened, it's like this is gonna happen or they're gonna be so mad, this and that, and then it happens and it doesn't even it's not even as bad as what happens, is not as bad as you think, and sometimes we think the worst, and it can turn out even better than we thought.
I love when that happens.
Yeah.
I love a surprise for the better.
Yeah. Me too. I think everyone does. And
Yeah.
um, I wanted to ask too, is like with your musical career so far, I wanted to ask like what is one of like your proudest moments so far?
Proudest moments. I don't know what my proudest moment is. Like I've been pretty, I think I've just been pretty proud overall to look at the, I guess, the types of events that I've been able to play, who I've been able to play with. I
Mhm.
find those to be pretty things that I think like, yeah, like the work for me, like even if it's just going to be playing, throughout the city and things like that, I think no, I've put work in and I feel appropriate playing with that person because they're really great and they should probably only be playing with people that could at least keep up with them. Maybe not be on the same bar, but keep up. And I go, I'm proud that I can do that. I'm proud that I can keep up with people that I look up to on some things. Like I can have all the doubt leading into it, thinking I don't deserve to be there. But then when the thing wraps up and you go, I held my own, you go, that's great,
Yeah.
you know? And that that's like the two-sided conversation that you're having within a whole day with yourself. From the start of the gig where you're doubting maybe, by the end you go, fuck yeah. Like
Yeah. And
did it.
I think that answer is like perfect because it's like when you're talking about it, it's kind of like the journey of everything, right? And the people that you meet along the way, and the relationships that you build, and the friendships that you create with music, and being able to play with amazing people and on a weekend basis or a night to night basis. And I think that's more important than actually doing it, right? And I think
Mhm.
it's like the journey of becoming rather than who you want to be.
Mhm. I yeah, it's there's so much reward that comes with like the reflection.
Mhm.
And like yes, the criticizing of all the things along the way. I'm glad I do that at the same time.
Yeah, and I think
Because I
better.
love putting myself to some kind of challenge of know your limit, but also push it a little bit. But then you go, no, this is a sweet spot and this is what works. And that's okay. And it's great. It works.
Mhm.
And I'm happy there. And you figure that out as you're going. And I find that no matter how long I've been doing this now, I don't like, I'm going to constantly keep trying instead of just kind of regurgitating the same thing. I always want to be trying something more, something better.
And I think like when we talk about like pushing ourselves, when we're comfortable, that's when we stay stagnant, right? And when we get
Hmm.
ourselves out of our comfort zone, that's when we grow. And I think sometimes limits are just self-induced, right? And we tell ourselves, "Oh, this is
Hmm.
the only thing that we can do." But if we take that out and we blow the cap off, we're more capable of doing way more than we think we are. And we just gotta believe in ourselves and go for it and like you said, show up and try and not give up, so to say, and not get discouraged, and think about like when you first started singing Shania Twain back to back karaoke until now. It's like the evolution is pretty remarkable.
Well, exactly. And I consider, so I don't know how old I was. Like when I think of just playing guitar, so my dad played. And then there came an age where I have a brother who's a couple years older than me, where he was learning to play. And then because he was learning to play, watching my dad and things like that, I wanted to learn to play. And my dad had these books, and there was like 70s and 80s song books that had like, it would show you how to play the chords, but he also had a Beatles book with pretty well all of the Beatles songs. And growing up, having listened to so much of that, I was learning how to play guitar, which I mean, I'm not an outstanding guitar player. I'm a great rhythm player. I can do the things, but, and I'm fine at it. But a couple of years ago, I even thought, I don't plan to be this incredible guitar player shredder, but I thought I'd like to learn a little bit more than what I know.
Mhm.
So I signed up for guitar lessons a couple of years ago just to go learn some new things about, because you go, I don't understand either, and there's a lot to learn. And I will say I did not learn a fraction of what exists, but why not? I went and took extra lessons. Teach me something new, so I'm not just playing campfire cowboy chords. I want to learn, I want to keep getting better. So in a way, it felt weird to tell people, oh yeah, I decided to take a couple lessons. Why not? If it means honing the skill a little more, why wouldn't you? It's not
And
like I didn't know how to play before. I certainly did.
yeah, and you know what, Allison? I don't think that's weird at all. I think that's admirable because it shows that you want to improve and get better and learn. I think that's what life's all about. It's trying to evolve and trying to be the best version of yourself. And in that sense, it's like trying to be the best guitar player you can be. Right? You can always learn. You can always improve. You can always get better. Like no one's perfect, right? And you can always get to the next level and try to get a little bit better and a little bit better. I think staying what you like I think the weird part would have been staying with how you were and like doing those campfire songs and those chords, right? Rather than trying to learn a bunch of different things and different genres and growing your portfolio in the best way. I think that's like admirable in the best sense.
What's the there's a I'm not going to say it right, but I know there's an expression about like if you there's something along the lines of the dumbest person in the room is who thinks that they know all that they can ever know.
Mhm.
Like if you don't think you have anything more to learn, then you won't. Like that's it. But there's always more, like be it for like honing into hobbies or just like literally learning things. You go, you're not bound. This isn't the end of the line. Like you could always try to add to the things.
And like
And I would never want to slow that down.
no. And I think you're never too old to learn. And like even the most successful people in the world, they say that's what they learn every day. And if you are the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. Or
Hmm.
and there's so many things that you can learn. And I think everyone and when I just said like you're the smartest person in the room, I don't really think that's true because everyone is smart in their own way. And I think
Hmm.
everyone brings value and everyone has something to offer, right? And
Yes.
maybe someone is good in one thing, you can learn a whole different topic on something totally different, right? And people have knowledge in that one specific thing or multiple things that you can learn something totally new. And I think it's about being open-minded, right? And I think your example of taking guitar lessons, that's an example of being open-minded. Oh, you,
Hmm.
you could you could have said, "Oh, I've been playing guitar forever. I know this, and this." But like, if you have that mentality and going to your guitar lesson, you won't learn anything. And then being open-minded and like, "Oh, this is what I want to learn. I want to be a sponge. I want to maybe know how to do this and do that." And that's how you learn and improve, right?
Yeah. I I will happily like have some humble pie.
Yeah.
Like it I yeah, exactly. Well, and it's not like I'm not hungry for it all the time, but I mean, because every now and then. But like I think it goes a long way. And I mean that like across the board. I think it honestly goes such a long way because I think it's what also helps you, um, especially like if it's involving other people and like some perspective, and then you go, oh my God, actually, you are somebody who can teach me a bunch of things. Great, do that. I don't have to know it all. I'll
Yeah.
happily, I'll be a helper. If you're the doer, I'll be a helper because I can learn little things along the way.
Oh,
Okay, cool. Show me what we're doing though. And like, I don't know, ego is
I,
something.
I think it's good to get humble sometimes, and it helps us stay grounded, right? And it's like, oh,
Yeah,
it's not. Sometimes it's not all about. It's about other people, and I think
yeah,
having that, like, it's important to always remember that. But sometimes things get busy, and we get in our own head, and we're focused on something, and then something happens. It's like, wow, take a step back and realize, like, oh, okay. Um, how can we approach this differently? And it's not about us; it's about we, right? And having that I think it really goes a long way, so to say.
yeah.
I wanted to ask, like, one of my questions that I remembered was like because you're doing so many, and I remember you telling me when you came to the store last time, like how you have so many jobs, like a security guard working at the beer store, like the government, all this kind of thing. But being able to have music on the side, and like how is all those experiences kind of teach you, and how do you kind of balance both your professional job and with your career in music?
I will say the things that we'll say, having done different forms of security work and the beer store, the way those will tie into music is like situational awareness. Because, case in point, at the beer store, you come in, maybe we have the thing called like responsible sales. That if we're under the impression somebody is maybe we shouldn't be selling them beer,
Mhm.
you kind of have to, there's a few things to, key points to look for, whatever. But you have to be able to kind of read people and read a room. Similar situations for the jobs that I've had. Like I used to work for an armored car company before doing security. And again, that's a really good place to have situational awareness of reading a room. Because you can't always, even if you're good at that, you can't always predict that something will happen. But you're wanting to be perceptive as best you can. So similar to music, I try to read a room of um, what are people connecting with that I'm playing. I don't want to stay stuck to a dedicated set of songs, but I'll try to read a room and kind of play into that, because if that's going to get people to either stay or engage with me, I'll I like I like to that's how I like to set up a night. So how do I manage all that? Like I try not to overbook myself because I want to enjoy every gig. I don't want it to feel like work.
Mhm.
I want it to be an enjoyable night for you, the listener, but also I want it to be enjoyable for me. How
Mhm.
do I make it enjoyable for me? I'm playing what I think you want to hear. I'm trying to read what you or your table or those people over there who I got a look from, or I got some acknowledgement, a clap of something from, you go, this works. That's fulfilling for me.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't feel like work. And then those are the gigs you enjoy. And so I don't ever want, like, I don't want to be tired. I've done the tired life of shift work things. So I want to only work so often at this fourth job. But it's like it's super fulfilling to do that. And then it doesn't feel like work, and then it makes it easy to do.
I I love how like you tied it into, because when your answer was like it kind of goes hand in it apparently it complements each other, right? The skills that you learn as security or the beer
A
store.
bird just hit my window. Situational awareness. I'm so sorry.
Hopefully it's
I
okay.
hope you can't hear it.
No, I didn't hear it, but it's
Good.
surprising because that's loud. Like one yesterday morning, a bird hit my window too, and it like scared me. Well, I'm very jumpy to begin with, but it was loud. And oh my goodness!
Yeah, exactly. I'm so sorry to have interrupted you.
No, no, no. I think it's funny.
But yeah, I know.
I mean, not funny. The bird is just like I was like, oh, what's going on?
I know.
Hopefully the bird's
Oh,
okay.
we'll give him 10 minutes. He'll come back. No, but these jobs, they do tie hand in hand.
Mhm.
They're all very different, but there's things that I like you bring across the board to them, you know?
Oh yeah,
Like
for sure. Everything that you learn, like like every experience or every job that you have, and then you go to a next job, you utilize a little bit of what you learned from the past experience, and it allows you to help you with this job, and then the next job you're gonna have your fifth or sixth job, and eventually you're gonna learn from the beer store, your third job, or you know what I mean. It all goes together, and it kind of allows you to be who you are, and it's kind of like the same thing when you have a group of friends or people around you, like you always take a little bit out of everyone to kind of that the little pieces that you like, and then you adapt, and it kind of allows you to become a little bit of you. You take a little bit of everyone's positive influence and what you like, and then kind of try to adapt it, right? And then I think it allows you to have, like, it allows you to kind of build your character. And when you have good character, you have good habits, right? And then good habits allow you to get what you're doing and move forward in a positive way.
Well, and I think it also helps bring a range of comfort in all kinds of situations.
Hmm.
It makes you really comfortable in a lot of different kind of rooms
Oh, for
because,
sure.
once you go, I can adapt to most situations pretty easily. Even if somewhere inside of me that I don't realize, like I might have nerves going off, you're able to kind of quiet them because you go, okay, you just immediately start reading. You go, okay, oh yeah, they're okay. This is fine. Like it's not, things are not all that different in our day to days between most people.
And I think it's when you have a job or jobs, multiple jobs in your, it's cool to
Hmm.
be able to utilize those skills in your everyday life, even when you're not working. How like
Yeah,
translatable they are, which is amazing.
yeah. I can remember. I mean, this wasn't like my finest advice I've ever given, but I was working one of the security jobs, and I mean, I've had some good weekends. I have lived and enjoyed many weekend nights in my time, and I still know how to. I just choose a little more selectively when I'll do it. But I remember there being some younger people, and somebody had too much of a fun night, and they were very sick. And in my capacity that I was working, I had to, there's you have a bit of protocol you have to follow for a job. But I remember at one point I just spoke really candidly with them. I said, listen, I'm going to shoot you straight here. Here's how your night's going to go. You're going to eventually, I said, you're going to feel like crap like you do right now. You're going to keep throwing up. I said, you're going to pass out. You're going to wake up. You're probably going to get sick again. It's going to keep happening. You're not going to have anything left, and it's not going to feel great. But every time you do that, you're going to take a sip of water. You're going to keep trying. You're going to keep passing out. And eventually it's going to wear off. Make sure your friend sleeps in the room with you. I said, but this is going to happen. You're going to be okay come the morning. I said, I promise you, this is how these log nights out work. If you're already in this state, this is how this is going to go. Now, friend, if it doesn't stop come morning time, we're going to take this more seriously. I said, but like, this is only going to last so many hours, should
Mhm.
only last so many hours. And I thought, like, I think if you can connect to people and being relatable, as opposed to me telling you this is how it has to be, you know, if you can connect with somebody and they'll go, you're right, okay, yeah, it calms situations down so easy if you find like that relatable something with people.
And I think
It
it's like,
calms everything down.
yeah, and I think it's all about like being relatable. We're all human. We all live experiences. But I wanted to ask you, one of the questions I didn't want to forget was, because like when I wanted to ask, like, what are some advice that you would give someone who's like who's working multiple jobs, or a job and chasing their dreams on the side, like you, and being able to be successful at everything that you're doing.
The instinct that I want to like that kicks in here is to say, go all out, whatever that means to you. If it like, I think there's good in taking. I don't know how. It's like a two-part answer. I want to say go all out, but then I don't,
Yeah.
because on one hand, play every venue that you have available, play every gig, try every song, exhaust yourself, do all of the things, but then don't. You know, always push the limit in terms of trying trying new things, but I think don't exhaust yourself at the same time. Like in general, I like we all live very tired, and there's a lot of beauty that comes from rest and self-care and balance and that at the same time. So that's where I say don't go all out. But
Yeah.
I think it's worth doing it in doses. I think it's taking measured approaches to it. Like I think it's important. I used to sing till 5, 6 o'clock in the morning until Aggies would open in Balcarron after a night full of singing, drinking, playing, whatever, until you could, are they open? Let's go for breakfast. So then you'd eat too much food, go home and pass out for a few hours before you would go to work, and then do it all over again. After a couple nights, you're pretty hoarse because you would be singing in smoke-filled garages and like, and on one hand, as hard as it was, it got better as every night was going. I was like, why is it that I'm pushing harder? Because I'm a little worn out, I'm tired, I'm strained. But I opened up much more for myself and learning, oh, I can do that thing. And it's
Yeah.
not till I got there that I started going, oh, if I just went, forget it, fuck it, try it. Like it opened up things I didn't know that I could do.
Yeah.
So there's beauty and benefit to those going all out moments.
Because it pushes you to the limit that you didn't think that there could be, right?
Yeah. I think there's something about, and also like, but then I want to advocate for, the get rest. It serves me well because I can remember I played a lot last summer and into the fall and I was tired. I was feeling very tired and I had a lapse where I went, I need a bit of a break because again, it's starting to feel like work. I took a couple months where I hardly did anything. And the next gig I went out for, holy shit, I had fun, but also my voice sounded awesome. And I was happy with it coming out instead of going, oh, I already know where I screwed up on this, that, and this. When it when any feedback, another bird, or videos came back, I went, no, I sounded good. I was happy with it. So I think there's good to not always, I think momentarily going all out, but then finding that balance of like,
Yeah, and I
calm
think
down.
being able to have a bit of a break too, it shows you the love that you have for it, right? And if you burn yourself out and then you kind of create like a resentment, and then you don't
Yeah.
want that, right?
Yeah. And so I think that would be the advice is try everything, give all you have. Like I had a friend of mine say, because I would go, like, I can be a loud singer, it can be a lot. And I said, I don't know what made me ever want to give her. Except for I went, how am I going to reach that note? Except for trying. And if trying, it made this sound, I went, oh, that sounded good.
Yeah.
So, as simple as that sounds, it's just you have it, and maybe it sounded terrible, but something in it, I could probably maybe fine tune it. You go, oh no, now it's awesome because I've tried it a bunch and like I figured out where my lane is with that
Yeah.
thing.
That you can put in your back pocket.
Yes.
Use it
And
as
that's,
your tools in your arsenal, right?
yeah, I got a weird toolbox, but I got dead birds on my both in the front and backyard now, and I'll put them in my toolbox later. I might need them.
It might it might smell a little bit, but that's okay.
Yeah. Pretty bird, pretty bird. Thinking of Dumb and Dumber right now.
Oh, yeah.
You sold my dead bird to a blind kid.
What classic.
Yeah.
But I wanted to also ask like because I've known you and you're known to be like a funny although you make me laugh all the time, but like you're so personable and someone that like people gravitate towards you. You're so compassionate. You get a heart of gold. You take time for people. You're always positive. Like, where did that like positive attitude come from? And like your kindness and authenticity and everything like that. Like becoming who you kind of are. Like, have you always had that positive perspective?
I don't know. Maybe. I have. I was having this conversation yesterday about the way people like raise kids, and everybody gets raised differently, and everybody has their own ways of doing it. I think I had great parents. I had strict parents, but I also had very loving parents, and I had everything I needed as a kid. I did like there was, but like we also you learned, there was a limit to everything, and it learned a lot of discipline, but I had a very loving, like to me growing up, my dad was awesome. My dad scared the shit out of me,
Oh yeah.
not because he was like a mean, scary person, but like also my dad is like the most loving man in the world. Like I wouldn't change a thing. I have learned so much great perspective from my parents. And on one hand, it's that there's always somebody who's got it worse than you.
Mhm.
Like it doesn't minimize that right now that thing sucks, but like there is something on the other side. I learned that from them, and I think that's a lot of how I approach most situations. And I've had to do that. I've had to maintain that thought my whole life through all the things that I've gone through. Like there's no shortage of anybody having shitty in their life in whatever capacity.
Mhm.
But I think knowing that in some shape or form, there's the bright side to the thing that eventually comes. And that bright side isn't always in like grandiose forms. It's not always because you've now hit the lottery or you have these huge things, but it's, I've learned to look at, and I don't know what else to call them except for like micro wins sometimes.
Yeah, all the small wins.
Yeah. And I think we lose sight when we're comparing ourselves maybe to other people about like where other people might be or how they got through this thing by comparison. You go, okay, but it's not about like stop. Where, like where are you now? And you go, well, I don't I don't lose sleep. I feel happy. I feel healthy. Okay, so does having XYZ material items seem like they're in a better place if they don't have those other things you do, if they don't have peace, if they don't have calm? No, I'd rather have those other things than, you know, I'd rather have dead birds in my yard but feel peaceful than have six cars in the driveway. Because you gain so much more from those small micro wins if you stop and acknowledge them.
Yeah, and I think it's all about perspective too, and the way you're talking about your parents. Like my parents were the same way. They're so loving and they care so much. Even I'm 32 years old and they still do so much for me. And like, I feel like they like ever since my brothers and I were alive, like they they altered their lives for us. Really, they put their lives on hold and
Mhm.
to be able to make sure that we succeed to the best of our abilities. It's like incredible, and they're so
Yeah.
selfless and loving. And like I said, like I'm scared of my like not scared, but like my dad's like he's rough around the edges, but he means well that because he cares, right? And
Yeah.
whenever I would screw up, and I still screw up, I know, and I know firsthand because I know what I did, but like he reminds me, and I
Yeah.
think what you kind of sometimes you need that, you need um, that discipline, and you need that like okay, well, I did this and I'm gonna hear about it, and rightfully so, And sometimes
Mhm.
I feel like I don't deserve it, but that's just how they are.
Yeah. No, I think I wouldn't change a thing
Mhm.
about like as a kid, yeah, my parents were strict in my mind, obviously.
Me too.
But then I go, no, like, but I'm glad they were, whatever that was, whether it was really strict or not, I don't know. As a kid, of course I thought they were. They didn't just immediately say yes or give me all the things I wanted. What? How rude of them. But whatever the thing was, like I learned that I'm happy I was raised exactly the way I was. I think like I credit so much of the things that people um, will like about me. I can attribute which parent I got that thing from,
Yeah.
and I go, I'm so glad because I I really like the person that I am,
hmm And
you know,
that's important.
and because I look at, like I said, like when I look at the people in my life, how did I get them and how did I keep them? Oh, because I don't want to be a piece of shit. So if I don't want to be a piece of shit, how can I be good to others? And what made me like what put all of this into track for me? My parents, and again, of course, other people, but like primarily them.
Isn't it cool to see like a mixture of both our parents like in us? You
I
know,
hate it. I hate it.
like I always say, like I think I have like the best of both my parents, which is amazing. Like my dad is hardworking and loving and all that, but my mom is like the nicest person in the world. Like she has the biggest heart but I wish I had more of my dad like backbone. Like he doesn't care. He doesn't like he can yell at anyone and everyone and defend people. Like I can't. I'm like very reserved and I think it, but I cannot like express it. And I wish I had that kind of bark, but I don't. I think I have more of my
I get it. Yeah.
yeah.
I think though there's something I pick and choose. My cousin we are notoriously on my dad's side of the family. We have the patience that like it doesn't exist. We are very impatient people, or rather like you can lose it pretty quick.
Yeah.
And especially if like we're short fused, we know how to be really short fused if need be. But my cousin, and it's the same side of the family, I remember at one point he had said this to me and it's always stuck with me, which was pick your spots. So for people who can be short and impatient or whatever the thing may be, also knowing maybe pick your spots. Like it's helped. If I'm gonna lose it on someone, I'm gonna make it a good one, and I'm gonna make sure it's a really worthwhile situation. Do you know what I mean? Like, not everything needs all my energy.
Like pick your battles, so to say.
Big time.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
can't see you losing it. You're too nice of a human being.
I try really hard not to. I really try to, because I say to myself, like, like, I'm human. I don't always have the nicest thing come around. You go, well, hang on a minute, and it's like, I'm going to take a minute on this because one, is it worth it? Two, is it warranted? But in some cases, you go, no, it is.
Yeah.
I just try to sometimes maybe get it out in a different way because you go, if I let off the way I right now instinctively want to let off, it's not going to be kind. And I don't want to do that. And I
Yeah.
don't want to regret it later either. I don't want to regret the
Imagine,
things I've put out.
imagine we actually say the things that we think sometimes. Like,
Yeah, I
like
would love to.
what I don't know why this popped in my head just now, but like it was like a movie. It was like I don't like I've only seen like the concept of it. I don't think I've actually watched the movie, but it was like the invention of lying and like lying doesn't exist and you're like brutally honest and just say whatever you think and like imagine that was actually like real life.
Do you know what though? I think there's room for a lot of honesty
Yeah.
because and like I think it's just sometimes delivery.
hmm But I think like imagine being like brutally honest, like you can't like say
Yeah. You had no option to hold back. I will say, I think there's a skill. I think you can normally. I think there's a way of pulling it off.
Yeah.
I think there's a, again, in reading the room,
Oh, for sure.
if you get a sense of your audience, you can be pretty honest.
Hmm. I think
And then,
when you kind of think about that too, it's like, sometimes it's very hard to be honest, right? And I
yeah,
think honesty is the best policy, and I think trying to be as honest as possible, no matter
yeah.
like you said, reading the room and making sure it's the right time and place. I think if you're as honest as possible, I think that's when everything turns out okay.
You can't really regret if you're having, like, you can't have any regrets about something if you were honest about it.
Hmm.
You're never going to dial back and think about your words and go, should I have said that? Because I think where I would settle on is, well, I was honest. I
Yeah.
might regret how I said it to you. I might regret the delivery, the package I maybe didn't care about wrapping it in,
Yeah.
but I shouldn't care about having been honest. And I don't think not care. I don't think that's the right way of saying it, but um because I you should care no matter what. But like I think the packaging is what would be the thing to care most about.
How you deliver it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Like if I had, yeah, I'm gonna say that.
I think
I
it's
think it goes
perfect.
a long way.
But when I was thinking of like questions to ask, I wanted to. I'm always intrigued because I don't really have a. I never. I think you're like one of the first musicians I've had on the podcast. I want to talk a little bit about like your musical influence, like
Hmm.
growing up, like what kind of genres you like, and even now, like how has it changed, or what do you like to listen to, so to say.
Growing up, there was whatever tapes were in the house, or the radio, or infomercials,
Huh? Really?
right? Yeah. Oh, I have added songs to my repertoire based on infomercials. One of them being, and this is the best song, is Paper Lace, The Night Chicago Died. I heard that in one of those compilation tapes, whatever commercials on TV, and I went, "Oh, what a fun song." Now, I love it. I can't get enough of this obscene song. And when I pull it out and there's somebody who knows it, I get so excited. But other like so those are weird places for inspiration, but it works. But other than that, it was growing up with whatever, obviously, the music people of the house at the time had. So there was a ton of Beatles, and that, that'll forever just be like a happy thing that sits inside of me, and you go from there. But and a lot of classic rock. I Nowadays there's less time between all the jobs to just sit and enjoy as much music as I would like, of like learning just new things that are out there.
Mhm.
So a lot more of the things that I'd love to always find more time to just be learning new music of like now, of what's out there, and taking that time. But a lot more is like, oh, what are things that I can implement into my sets, my gigs? So sometimes you fall into that more mainstream line of whatever's around and whatever people might know. But I'd love more time to pull into things that maybe people won't know, but will soon know as a result of having played it.
Yeah.
I remember when Mumford and Sons first came out, and they were a hit, and we started adding that to our set list way back when. I think we were still, I don't know if we were, I think we were a trio at that point. But it was still so new, and you went, oh my God, awesome music is coming out. And it was so inspiring to want to learn more things in that lane. But like, I don't know, I'm all over the place on this answer, but I don't know what to say the influences, as long as it's good. And there's nothing I don't want to listen to. I don't want to ever limit myself to not liking something, so I'm never going to want to listen to it. there's something good in almost everything. Not big on screaming music, but like,
Me neither.
yeah, it's things can't be annoying. Things can be good without being annoying. Not that it's annoying. It just gets hard to hear sometimes. A little bit too much stimulation.
I'm growing up. I had older brothers, so I always loved like that punk rock, like Blink 182 and like Taking Back Sunday and Rise Against, and it's like, and I would always get chirped from my brothers, but I love Simple Plan, and I still listen to them today. Like stuff like that, I love.
If you listen to Taking Back Sunday, you listened to Brand New.
Yeah.
Yeah, my God, that is such like yeah, like I mean, Yellow Card, things like that.
Oh yeah.
MXPX,
Mhm.
Gob. Oh, my brother used to like my brother probably is the first person that exposed me to punk. But then as I got into like young adult years, I was like, oh no, there's still so much that's good in here.
Oh yeah.
Like there's nothing that's not good. I'm open to it all.
And I think that's
And there's
good, right?
nothing I won't try and play on the guitar either.
And I think I want to ask you, like, do you write your own music sometimes?
No, I wish I don't feel like I have the knack. I think I'm great at finding rhymes. I think I'm that kind of creative. I don't know if I know how to write music. I wish I could answer that as a yes. But I
Maybe,
feel like I would just be trying to rhyme something. Like I don't know that I know how to write.
but sometimes like it's like about like storytelling, right? And it doesn't
Hmm.
have to. There's some like new artists like it doesn't even rhyme. It's just like a story.
Yeah. I would love to know how to tap into that kind of storytelling.
Hmm.
I think it's also, I think if you're doing it right, as opposed to just trying to make something that's like appeasing to a listener, I think there's so much vulnerability that goes into that. And I think it would just unlock a whole other set of therapy sessions that I'd be tapping into. But it's like, and there could be a lot of good that comes from that. I'm watching a bird. Thank you for avoiding my house. Um, but no, I would love to know how to tap into that.
And I think like that's why people say like music is so therapeutic, right? Because maybe if you write music or you listen to it, it can help you get things out and like different feelings and being vulnerable. That's probably one of the hardest things about being a songwriter is writing your stories and like letting people hear it, so to say.
Well, and then somebody you might write. I don't. I'm not a writer, so I can't speak it from experience. But also, I just imagine if me telling this story is coming from my angle on my experience, and you hear it with a whole other kind of experience. Now that song changes. Like, am I supposed to correct you and say, no, no, the song is supposed to be about this?
But that's what
No, but then you're letting somebody else, and you go, what a wonderful thing to be able to let go. But I imagine that's a hard thing to learn how to do as a writer, I imagine.
but the thing is like that's what art is all about. It's all about perspective,
Hmm.
right? And like, let's say like an artist makes a painting, and then it makes you feel one way. It makes you think of this. Someone else, it makes you think of that. And it's all your perspective and interpretation about it. And I think that's what makes a good song too, right? Like it might be written for this one, but it might give people a different opinion on something.
Well, and I think that's part of learning to let go of some of the control.
Mhm.
Because like I'm just going to use grief as an example. If I'm writing about this, but you're hearing it from like a different place for whatever reason, imagine like suddenly this one thing that in my mind is only supposed to have been about this. What a new door to have opened it if you come out with something completely different from that song.
Yeah.
But I think it's like to be able to let that thing go would be huge and
Hmm.
awesome. And that's why I say I wish I can know how to tap into those things and then also release them for like, here, now you make it what you need it to be for you.
It's like a weight lifted off your shoulder, like having a butterfly in your hand and letting it go.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like those things
So I would love that.
when like people passed away and they had those balloons with and then you light it on fire and then you let it go in the sky. It's kind of like that.
Yeah, those are so nice and touching. I know they say that's bad for the environment, so I'm
But
not going to promote it, but like, what a beautiful moment. Just let it go.
and I know I've taken a lot of your time so far, but I had a couple questions I wanted to remember before I end this. But I wanted to ask, like, because you've been doing so much and you're an example of like following your passion and doing what you love to do, like, what is some advice that you would give to maybe a young a musician or someone pursuing their music dreams or even dreams in general? Like, what advice would you give to someone to chase your dreams no matter how big they are? And what would that kind of be?
I think it's a lot of the things that we've talked about. Which one? There's nothing you can't get better or improve on or learn more of. So don't think that the end of the road is necessarily like that's it. Um, you can't shine that thing up a little bit more.
Hmm.
And when you think you've shined it as best you can, go all out and try something. Add. How can you add to your arsenal, your toolbox, your dead bird box? Like, how can you always be trying to, I know, but it's true. Get more dead birds. Who cares? Find good perspective of it all. But I just think that always finding a way to make the thing a little bit better for yourself, always look for something more. Like push a little bit in whatever capacity. If it means in terms of playing, you're going to add stomping, something, singing a little louder, singing a little harder, singing parts that you didn't have, then try it anyways.
Yeah.
Like just don't wear yourself out doing the things. Nothing is worth, your peace and all on the calm, but like you really just have to try.
Yeah.
It's going to suck. It's going to be uncomfortable. It might physically hurt, but like try it. Try it a little bit.
Mm.
Every single time, try it a little bit more because when you look back at where you might have started, you should be able to see, wow, I got better from there to there. And that video I took of myself 2 years ago when I was singing that song and I hated this, and that. Now, when I do it and I hear that video, you go, oh, I like that. I might hate these other things about it now, but I like this now.
Yeah.
I've made progress. So like, as much as I would tell somebody to try indefinitely, also take a minute and look back. You might find 20 other things, like I said, to criticize yourself over, but those are things to like also look at what's been better since then. Oh, what a weight you lift off yourself going, okay, so it hasn't all been for nothing. Like my limit is not like it's not I'm not at that limit. I can still keep getting better at something. How
Yeah.
nice for me. You know, I'm not a piece of shit person yet. There are things I can still do good and be better at. Wow, go me. Like what a great thing.
I think it's impossible for you to be a bad person. You are one of the best persons I know. But
Well, in my best elementary school voice, Ryan, I know you are, but what am I?
yeah.
You know?
But to end this amazing thing, I always ask the kind of the same question, and I think your advice is like to keep going and to keep trying and to keep persevering. I think that's what it's all about in life. Just to try to get better and 1% better every day, right? And I want to, because you're such a good person and you're such a good-hearted person. I wanted to ask, like, how do you want to inspire the next generation of good-hearted people?
I think I would want, there's always so much that you like, I want the best for myself, and the best for myself is to always be feeling like I'm better than yesterday.
Yeah.
And whatever, and that's in whatever capacity. Because there's so much like happiness and calm that comes from it, and that like you ooze that, and people around you feel comfortable, and then you're like, it helps build that community of safety, those walls that you bump into. It's like you build such a happy life for yourself by always wanting the best for yourself, and like taking the most gentle approach to it. And yeah, going all out, trying the things that might suck. But if you can learn that grace with yourself, to always be, and humility of always knowing like, you're great how you are, you could always be better. And my God, I might have sucked at that other thing, but I'm happy I'm trying and doing the ugly work along the way. What more? Like, that's so fulfilling, because it helps build the best foundation with yourself, and then all the support around you that you could have, whether it's 10 people, whether it's 2 people. Like, and what a beautiful way to go through this life, especially now. You know,
I love
it's
that.
just,
I think
yeah,
that's the perfect answer. And I think having the right people around you, and doing what you love to the best of your abilities, and getting a little bit better, and trying difficult things, and that's how we improve. That's what it's all about, right?
yeah.
Oh, I appreciate you taking the time, Allison, and thank you so much. This is amazing, and I laugh so much, especially about the birds.
I'm telling you, I'm gonna go out there later with a shovel, Ryan. I'm gonna
Yeah.
name them after us.
Hopefully
Front
not.
yard's gonna be positive, backyard's gonna be Inception.
It's better than Dumb and Dumber.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We're on the up.
There you go. Oh, thank you so much. This is
Thank you.
amazing.
I appreciate it.